This is one of the prettiest places that we've ever hunted deer in. These red dirt canyons look like they came straight out of a Western movie, and it's going to make for one of the most unique experiences we've had in a long time. So unique, in fact, that we don't even know if whitetails exist here. There will be mule deer, aoudad, and pigs around, but we may be too Western for the old whitetail. This is a place that a buddy of ours has that does some mule deer hunting and some aoudad hunts and stuff like that. They thought there might be some whitetails on the place. We're going to try to find a whitetail in a place that very much looks like mule deer and aoudad habitat. And I'm really excited. I've been looking forward to this hunt all year. This is Buck Truck. We unloaded the truck straight into the tents and hit the ground running, trying to find any whitetail we could.
East wind, there ought to be bucks cruising this bottom. You can see a bunch of bottom that way. And I don't see one white-tailed deer. I don't see one critter except for a cow. I'm not too disheartened. We've known that it's going to be hard to find deer here. But the payoff could be real nice. Just saw a really big buck. I don't know how big he is. He's a little bit narrow, but he's really tall.
Rage.
We're gonna have to work, but I do think that you're liable to run into a good buck, as this property's really only been hunted for mule deer in the past. So, got a good chance of running into a good buck. But I have spotted one deer. I don't know if it's a whitetail or a mule deer yet, but I think it's a whitetail. So we're gonna sit in here and glass a little bit back towards the sun this morning and try to find that buck again. Hopefully he's doing the same thing, embedded back in this little draw back here, and doesn't see us just spotlighted up here on this hill. Try to get a little bit closer look. He looks like a pretty big whitetail buck, but I can't tell from up here, especially with the sun shining. So pack everything up and get going real quick. Disappeared. There's a deer right there. It's a big buck. Might be a whitetail. No. It's a mule deer. It's just not forked on his two or whatever right there. I thought it was a big, like 8-point whitetail, but it's a mule deer. I would like to see a whitetail though. I feel like that's going to be our struggle, is finding a whitetail out here where there's big mule deer everywhere. Look how black his head is. That's sick. Well, if he was a whitetail, he'd be getting it right now. The struggle is finding a whitetail. Golly. some other deer, like maybe even whitetails, will be like, what's going on over there? But I could sit here and watch these things do that all day, but it ain't killing us deer, sadly enough. This is the most rugged country I'll hunt this year. I mean, it's a lot like hunting elk in the mountains as far as just steepness goes. The hills may be a little bit smaller, but these things are impressive. Like, I wish you could see it in person. This stuff is like awesome. It's incredible. This red dirt is real fine, and so they don't get a lot of rain out here, but when they do, it washes out really easily and quickly. So it makes these really steep draws. Over the course of flash floods, just continue to go straight down because it just eats all that fine red dirt. And I had knee surgery this summer, and it's making this a little bit difficult. Thankfully, I've had some time this season in Kansas and other places, Nebraska, and even in South Dakota, just to build that knee muscle up, the muscles around the knee, and my strength is a lot better than it was at the beginning of the season, so that's good. But this is still tough. But we're almost to the top. This is where my glass set buck from this morning, up in that cedar. So from there, it's flat back to the truck. So it'll probably glass a little bit longer, but it's warming up quick. That's how it does in the arid semi-desert. It gets pretty warm in the days and really cold at night. Big temperature swings.
There's this old creek bed right here, and there's a bunch of exposed rock in it. I spent a lot of time in the woods over the course of my life, and never found an arrowhead. I've been close. I saw one right after KC saw one time in Arkansas. It was a really nice point. But I'm going to try to find my first arrowhead here in the Lone Star State. That's a cool rock. Look at that thing. That's real cool. Still no arrowheads. I think it's a goal of mine to find an arrowhead by the end of this trip, but I'm just gonna have to be looking in the middays when I'm back at camp or whatever. Oh yeah, turmeric super shot. It has fresh pressed organic turmeric, organic lemon. It looks like there's ginger on there, but it doesn't say there is. This is gonna not be the tastiest thing ever, but it makes me feel better. It's glass. It's like heavy duty glass. Ah! Woo! Ah! Tangy.
So we got set up here, I don't know, 400 yards from that shelf that he walked yesterday evening, that buck walked. So I'm hoping to get a better look at him, see for sure if he's a shooter. When you're hunting big open country, wide open spaces like this place, you got a lot of places to move and go. You generally want to stay up higher early on, trying to find out where these deer are, and then you work little by little in to closer position to where the areas they're using, the travel routes they've got, that kind of thing. It would seem that these deer are using juniper as a food source somewhat. There's a really sweet berry, is what KC said, on those junipers, and I saw those does eating them this morning, and he informed me that they're really sweet and tasty right now, even for humans, so I would imagine it's real good to a deer. And not every tree has those berries on them, but they're different than the ones we've seen before. The ones like back home are blue. These are brown. But anyway, got a big open flat here. I've already seen a bunch of hogs. They're moving around, and I think there's a sow in heat down there. But we're going to sit here 400 yards, and if the deer does the same thing and he's a shooter that he did yesterday afternoon, we don't get a shot, then we'll move in even more for morning or evening tomorrow. It's gonna be hard to find a deer to shoot. I thought he was going to come up right here and give us an opportunity, but he just went up there like a smart big buck would do and just got our win. I could have taken a shot at him right there. Honestly, it wasn't a great angle. And I just feel like we'll get another opportunity. Yeah, I mean, he was like 170 right there. There's a nice buck. He's real wide. He's kind of thin, but it's pretty cool to actually see a whitetail buck. I mean, gosh.
This is deer that we canned last winter. Now we're gonna make.
There was a deer outside this tent over here.
I saw it too.
Sorry, I thought there was a dog outside that tent.
Oh, I thought there was deer.
It was a deer.
Uh-oh.
That ain't good. It ain't worth it.
Yeah, it ain't.
I got some cooked.
I got another jar of this out there.
Oh, okay.
See, it's some fucking meat. I can eat that.
What does it taste like? Or smell like?
It's no way a bug.
Does it?
A bunk?
Well, yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it do. Smell like Oklahoma bug. I love bug meat.
Put some barbecue sauce on it.
he's a shooter. Just need him to be a little bigger. He's nice though. Just a 3-year-old. I think we'll sit in here a little longer because it seems like one of them does might be hot. Maybe he was galloping about near the whole time and covered a lot of ground real quick, so ideally a 4 or 5-year-old buck will do that instead of just a solid 3-year-old. Man, this might be a shooter. Hey! I missed. There he is right there. Stay still, stay still. Wind is being super weird. I don't know. I felt pretty confident I was going to at least hit that deer. I had to go back and look at the shot and see where I missed him, but hopefully we can see that. But I was trying to get the phone scope set up, and I should have just got my pack ready and gotten into prone position and actually gotten real solid. But instead, I ended up rushing as he was getting out of there.
This is a unique whitetail hunt, and we have been making home right here for the last several days. I'm going to show you some of the stuff in the tent here that's kept us, you know, somewhat well rested. And then KC's going to take you through like some of the camping, cooking, and all that kind of stuff. This is where we sleep, and there's my bed. I got lots of clothes for pillows, right? And we've all, not all of us, most of us have these sleeping pads. These keep you warm. Because if you're sleeping just on a cot, there's that airflow underneath you and you get pretty cold. But anyway, you just kind of have your own little section. Got all my stuff kind of thrown over here, street clothes and rifle case. KC's got the same thing going on. We also have these lanterns that are real handy, and you just pull them down. They're, you know, battery powered. They turn on, so you can get a little light or a lot of light. And one on each side kind of helps out a lot. This is a gas lantern, propane lantern. KC likes, you know, he's got sensitivity to blue light, so he likes this one a lot. Oh, this is how we're staying warm right here. This is just a buddy heater, or a Mr. heater, whatever they call it, on propane. We used probably like 3/4 of this tank in one night. The first night when we used it, actually the second night. First night we couldn't get this one to work, so this one did work. And we used it the second night and used a bunch of gas. And it kept us really warm when it was like in the low 20s. But then we had a couple of warm nights, And then last night we probably could have used it, but we didn't use it all night. So it'll burn through some gas, some production stuff, saddle stuff, which we don't really have a need for saddle stuff right now. Come out here and Casey will show you through the cook tent.
Now I'm going to show you our cooking process. This is our cook tent right here. And just real quick, if you notice, we got all of our food storage going on right over here on the north side of the tent. That way it never gets any sunshine on it. Welcome to the cook tent. As you can see, I've already got me some onions kind of caramelized and burnt right here on a camp stove that I oh so very much have been liking to have. We're about to fry up some taco meat here. Got a little trash storage over here. Got us a table right here that we sit at every morning and every evening. It's really messy right now. Cooking in, I guess you'd call this the backcountry. When you got a lot of stuff, it's kind of messy. Like you just kind of got to deal with some stuff and things, you know what I mean? But breakfast, lunch, and dinner's right here. It's been real handy to have. And now we're gonna eat us some deer meat from
South Dakota.
South Dakota, how about that?
Check out this shed I found. That's been hanging out in here just to remind us that there are whitetails here sometimes. And then there's just this is a constant green salsa on the table.
The big debate is if it's new salsa or old salsa, right? Listen to that. This thing's hot. Oh my goodness. Getting worse instead of better.
So we haven't used this generator very much, but it's something that's handy, a little extra gas tank. There's also a UTV over there that our buddy dropped off for us, and then a bunch of drinking water and some extra pots and pans, a game cart that we have not used yet, along with some trail camera accessories, which we have been putting to use. So that's kind of the gist here. We've got extra straps and rope and all kinds of little, things here and there. Little like hand towels for when we're, needing to bathe or wash our hair or whatever. And there's lots of cattle troughs around and little windmills and stuff like that. So that's kind of the backcountry whitetail experience. So just kind of figured I'd run y'all through that before we go out this evening. But yeah, this is deer camp for the week. Things aren't looking too good for us. KC hasn't seen a whitetail since his first encounter, and I messed up the only chance I've had with a decent buck. After another evening of no whitetail sightings, I was starting to doubt that we'd be able to make something happen. But thankfully, the next morning, I was able to spot a really nice buck.
If he comes this way, we might be getting a shot. But I think he likes to bed over there, kind of to the east right in there. I have a really good feeling he's going back in there to bed on that north-facing juniper hillside. And that's where he's going to end up, I would bet. I kind of just got this feeling that it's kind of an all-or-nothing thing for me on that big deer that I missed. So I may let KC try to jump in here and see if he can hunt him tonight. And we go down here south and try to find that big deer.
I've been kind of running through the scenario of the miss. And though this is a modern gun, I don't have all the modern gadgets or even knowledge about ballistics and those kind of things to maybe make me a super accurate shooter. I have shot this gun really well. It's a 6.5 Creedmoor. There's the bullet I'm shooting. And according to the ballistics that I could find for this bullet, I think it's a 130 grain bullet. It's somewhere between, looks like maybe 7 and 9 or 10 inches. So I had guessed it would be 8, according to what I thought was an accurate ballistics chart at 300. But then from 3 to 400, there's an extra, 18 inches of drop. And it seems like it loses a lot of steam from 3 to 400. And I'm sure in the comments there'll be people that can inform me of some sort of terminology that I don't understand or know. But I would assume that when I ranged an object at 300 yards and that deer continued to walk in a cruising kind of manner, there's a chance that deer is at 330. And I would assume that if it's losing velocity at 300 from 3 to 400 quite a bit, then at 330, there's a few more inches of drop that I'm not accounting for. I'm shooting and I'm holding for an 8-inch drop. And I still am kind of bummed I missed him, but I'm actually glad that I didn't just clip him, right? And maybe we'll have a chance tonight to go out and find him down there a little bit closer to where he ended up running to, and maybe he's getting back into the rhythm that he was in. Dadgummit, you found a bad to the bone one, dude.
I'm trying to get you to find it.
No.
It is one of the better ones I've found. It's kind of weird because it doesn't have a great tail on it.
Was it fully uncovered?
Yeah, it was just sitting there on the surface.
Man, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I was trying to get you to
I
find
looked
it.
through here yesterday, but you know, you get kind of your eyes get tired after you look for a while.
Yeah.
Think there's another one in here?
Yeah, I do. Somewhere. I mean, that's like a perfect true arrowhead. A lot of times people are finding them bigger and their spear points are knives and everybody calls them arrowheads, you know, but like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's like 125 grains almost, you know, like kind of cool.
Sure enough.
This area was the
Sounds awesome, dude.
part of the Comancheria. What the Comancheria is? Like
Little Comanches?
the Comanches came in and like kind of took over everybody's stuff.
How far are you confident to shoot?
I mean, 300 under would be awesome, but I can dial it out further, but I don't want to.
284 from that shelf. By the way, they go right up there.
Really?
So if don't go down here. Stay up
Okay.
here if you're going to be up here. You could rattle him in. Or
I don't trust that it's going to work.
you could go up here and shoot him when he gets out of his bed, but that might happen.
But that's east winds
Fairly
going
soon.
right to him.
Oh yeah, each one.
So this is why, that's the only other thing I thought about is to go, could we take this road here and get on the back side of this and come get up here?
When we came over this hill and sat and saw him right here the other day, he went straight up over the top. So you would never see him from here. And he went west last night and then went north after that.
We have struggled to find whitetail bucks, but I did find an arrowhead today. How neat is that? It's like the perfect deer hunting size arrowhead too. Pretty cool. But thankfully, I have a buddy who is not good at hunting arrowheads. His name is Tyler Jones, but he is good at hunting whitetail deer. And he has been on them all week. He has been on the deer. And he's sold out for one big buck that he has been chasing. He's been seeing a big 10 point. We think it's a 10 point, I don't know. And he's making a real aggressive move, going super far, trying to find that deer tonight. I mean, it's like we're getting down to the nitty gritty crunch time at this point in time on this hunt. So he thinks he knows where a really nice 8 point went embedded, like what canyon that deer went into, like even a little side ditch. And so we're gonna go in. He showed me on the map where that was. We're gonna go in and set up, anticipating that buck's gonna come out, and I'll shoot that buck. He looks cool. He's got a real tall rack, long tines. I would love to leave here with that deer after seeing what we've seen this week. It's a tough hunt, and sometimes you have to just rely on friends and information. You know, like there's this like thing where you want to be the guy that gets it done, the guy that figures it out. But man, what fun is that when sometimes you fail, right? And it's good to have friends to lean on. I'm gonna lean on Tyler's information tonight, and we're gonna go kill a big buck.
I don't have a ton of clearance on my truck. And it's been an awesome truck, but I don't know if I'm not just gonna rip my front effects off. The front end is gonna really struggle. Wearing my forearm out. That's worth carrying in your truck door.
for sure.
This evening we're walking into a very remote part of this property. As you can see, a lot of these junipers did not burn back in here. It's also no roads, huge canyon, cat claws still in here. It's thick, it's nasty, and apparently there's some deer living way back in here in the remote section. And we'll get there just in time to set up and feel pretty comfortable about the situation. I believe this is algerita. It makes really good, sweet smelling flowers, and they make jelly out of the berries and honey off of bees that feed off that algerita. I think that's what that is. The reason I've probably never found an arrowhead is because when I'm hunting, I'm only looking at which stick I shouldn't step on, and then I'll look back up and try to make sure there's no deer out there, right? Camera guy is messing around while I'm hunting and finds an awesome arrowhead without the tip, likely shot at something. I don't know, it's kind of a small point. Could easily kill a deer, but maybe also used for like birds or something like that too. That's awesome. Like, look at the detail and where it's tied on and everything. That took some work. I kind of like to think about, what they were hunting. They weren't hunting all day, right? They could have been hunting pigs that the Spaniards released in the 1600s or whatever. Likely hunting some type of deer. Up and to the left, if you can see, here's a hillside that's got some cedars on it. That ridge behind that is supposed to is where he's at. It's a nice ram. We're still finding things besides whitetail. He's pretty. There he is right there. Okay. Snag tree right here. Right in that gap. Oh. Right here. Yeah. Back. He's deaf. Back. You good? Laid him over. Whew. Man, rifle hunting is something else. How about that? I'm glad that Tyler had found the deer, because I was going home empty-handed if not. And that's not the end of the world, you know. You go hunting all the time and don't shoot stuff, don't see stuff, but I'm thankful for the opportunities I do have. And it takes about 4 deer a year to feed my family, and this makes number 4. And I'm super thankful for that. Gosh, this deer's a lot bigger than I thought he was. Golly. Man, that's awesome. What a pretty deer. He's got a big head. I think he's pretty old. There's hardly anything for these deer out here to eat. They're just constantly head down, browsing around, moving around like crazy. This is fringe whitetail country. There's a lot of mule deer, a lot of odd-head hogs, roadrunner, turkeys, quail. We've seen the gambit of Texas critters. And it's just strange that the population density on whitetails is pretty low. I mean, it's not like that there's none out here, but it's just the holding capacity is low, so they have to roam and cover a lot of ground, find stuff to eat. Man, this thing's frame is pretty big. Being disconnected from the world is weird. You don't realize how plugged in you are until you unplug. And I've had a little bit of phone service when we're up high on top of these ridges and stuff, but when we're in camp, when we're down here hunting in the bottoms and stuff, there's no phone service. And what it's brought out for me, because it's the first time I've done that really this year. I didn't go elk hunting in the backcountry or anything, so this is the first backcountry thing I've done, and I've really enjoyed it, but it's brought some anxiety that I feel like people who had that explorer gene back in the days didn't have as much, because they're just so used to being gone and not communicating with family. I mean, things are happening at home. Like my wife's having a hard time with one of her kids being kind of whiny, and my great aunt passed away, and they're burying her as we speak right now, actually. And so it's just a little different when you're not there plugged in to what's going on. But it's still cool to see that things go on without you. And so it helps you take yourself a little less serious, which is good. It's something that we all need to exercise. The world's big, and God loves each and every one of us. He knit us together in our mother's wombs. Scripture tells us that. But at the same time, we're not special in the sense of an importance beyond what we're made for. Tyler sings a song called Born for a Time, which is about Queen Esther, which is kind of a cool story. But she was born and lived her whole life, and it all came down to a 15-minute appearance before the king, and sometimes we have a hard time trying to figure out what we're born for. But if you have a flat line, a baseline, a starting point of understanding you're here to glorify God, everything else kind of falls into place.
Lackluster Sid, but if we came down here to do this so that KC could shoot a buck, then I'm all about it, man. So they've been putting in the miles, working hard, and having some 0 Sids on whitetail. And so they've earned it, man, and I'm just glad that we could give them a good spot, give them a chance tonight. I don't know that he killed for sure, actually, but we heard a shot up that direction, about a mile. I guess it's probably about time to get out of here and go see what the deal is.
Hey, guy.
What up, dog?
Did you shoot one?
I did. I got a nice one.
Way to go, dude.
Hey, thanks for putting me on it. I mean, you made it it's like I worked hard all week and then you just made it easy, so.
You earned it.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Nothing's earned, right?
You worked hard for it.
We did work hard for him, and then it was kind of wild. So we dropped down, that that trek, the trail that you marked, halfway down it, we dropped down into the creek to the south of it and walked the bottom and came around the corner of that next hill. Well, they were down in there. But worked out perfect. We went down to the creek right before that knoll and put on our clothes and everything and got ready. Snuck up there, kind of picked out the bush I was going to sit behind to wait on him to come down from his bed. We get up there and Greg's like, there's deer in the bottom. So sure enough, I look up and that buck and a 1.5 already in the bottom. So we just get down in our spot, wait on him to come to a clearing and yell at him about 3 times to get him to stop, and stopped and shot him.
Golly, he's big. Man, what an old dude. Broke off his G4s.
Yeah.
I thought they were just like...
He almost has bumps for G5s.
Yeah. Man, that's awesome, dude. Man, way to go, dude.
When he looked up like this, thanks, dude.
Big deer, dude.
He looked up like this whenever we first saw him. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, because he has that thing, you know, that up and in thing that Texas deer have.
Texas deer thing.
He's just
sure.
like just the Texas deer, pretty much, you know.
Beautiful, man.
Yeah. They gonna be kind of stiff. Why not? Okay. That's a pretty big rack.
Yeah.
We took this thing down to the wire, which leaves Tyler one more morning to see if he can get it done.
This main canyon right here, it's a big canyon that feeds into a bigger river system. And the one thing that I've seen is being consistent while we've been here is that the mornings don't have hardly any wind, which we haven't had any major cold fronts, even though there's been some weather swings. And I think that what you can depend on when there's no wind is thermals, especially in canyon country, right? So being that the river is that direction, we're getting almost every morning before the thermals start to pick up after the sun hits and starts to warm things up. We're getting just thermal suck down to the river. So essentially a south wind in the mornings, which makes this a really good access for us and maybe our best access we've had on this entire trip.
Matt?
No. Yeah, me too.
Matt? Right there, I think.
KC, I was able to get a text out. He said he's going to be here in 5 or 10 minutes, so assess the situation downrange here in a second and see if there's a blood trail and what it looks like. He was walking out. Our grunt stopped
When
him.
you say he,
Well, it wasn't a doe.
you're assuming some things.
He's not the one I shot at.
Okay.
Different deer.
Okay.
Walks out, I mack him, and he stops behind a little mesquite tree. And I was like, ain't gonna work. I think see these two spruce right here and the mesquite tree back in there? I was sitting down right here. I think in between the two, not spruce, junipers or whatever. Little guy. I think he was behind that.
By the road?
Yeah. And so, didn't work. He kind of flicked his tail nervously and started to walk off a little faster. So he got on the other side of that juniper there, and I hit him again, and he stops. And I thought I had a window. I didn't think I hit him because he was running with his head up, and I was like, and he stopped twice. And I had my scope on 15, and I'm like, he's running, so I'm trying to find him. Dude, I could not find him for forever. And I was fixing to, I saw him stop. I come off. I'm fixing to change it to 10. I finally find him, and I guessed him at 300, which was a really good guess because I ranged. And
That's far.
Free-handed, put it over the top of his shoulder, and finally dialed it in. I took a deep breath. It took the extra second that you do with your bow, and it held right over the top of his shoulder. And that was a pecan for sure. It was, you could hear it hit. This is definitely a trajectory, I think, because there's a chance that he was behind one of these mesquites right here.
What was the range?
I mean, it was not far. It was 200.
You didn't range exactly what?
No, I mean, I did range, but he had moved 30 yards, maybe.
Oh, I see a belly. I see a belly. I see some big antlers sticking up off the ground, dude. Big dog.
Woo!
Big dog.
Pretty good shot. Look at that thing, dude. That's a big old deer.
That's why we get with a buck. Look at the
Tarsus.
hawks on that thing.
Got a busted brow tine. Looks like it's fairly new busted. Just a whole gnarly buck, man. That's cool, man.
He's in way better body condition than the deer that I shot.
Yeah.
He's healthy.
What is it because he's not as old?
He's probably
He's
just
like a prime deer?
Yeah, he's middle aged.
Look at
But his neck is big, His head's big.
Yeah.
He's not young. He's
No,
just in good shape.
He is.
Is he bobtailed? I think he's bobtailed. He is bobtailed.
So the doe he was with was bobtailed, one of them.
Yeah.
This has been one of the hunts, maybe the hunt that I was most excited for this year, and it was really an exploration. It was truly kind of an adventure to come out here to fringe whitetail habitat, where they on the edge of their range, where typically people are hunting mule deer more than they are whitetails, because more of them exist, and there's big mule deer around. There's hogs, there's aoudad, and the whitetail still finds a way out here in the desert Southwest to exist. And based off this body condition of this animal, I would say maybe not thrive, but be just fine, right? This deer was going to be fine living here. I said it this morning, but God's been very faithful this year, and for whatever reason, we've been allowed to struggle a little bit, or I have especially, and I think that it's a good thing for me. But I'm very appreciative this morning to be sitting behind the steer on the last morning in a canyon that was the only canyon on this giant property we really found whitetails in. And
that just shows you that they still like a particular habitat. And if the property doesn't have that, then they're only nomadic at best through there. You know what I mean? So I think that we've got some work to do before we get out of here. It's like an hour just to get off this property once you get in the truck. So I'm excited to go home and see my kids after being out in the wilds for a week. But man, what a way to end the hunt, dude. I just did not expect to shoot a buck this morning. I thought we're gonna go out and give it a chance. As KC says, give amazing a chance to happen, but it doesn't always happen. And this morning it sure enough did. So super blessed.
After a tough season, it sure felt nice to carry a rifle around here in Texas. But I found out it was a little bit of a false security. Once again, I was humbled by the outcome of this hunt, but I still feel incredibly blessed to have ended the trip with a little red dirt redemption.